Good evening and welcome back to McCrae's Keep for another gripping session of figure painting here with Blender. Tonight we plan to finish up our Dorian Storm figure by painting his mandolin, and we can take a look at his wings. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to get this figure imported into the keep. So let's take a look. I did put a black disc in here to kind of cover up the intersection of the mandolin and his chest or abdomen. But that was just a quick fix on that. But otherwise, we will go into edit mode. And there we go. And I'm not sure, to be honest, what the highlight is on these parts of the model. And this was imported from a different format. So I'm not sure if there's something coming through here. I don't think it's going to affect what we're doing, but we're certainly going to find out. So let's just do a select length, and that selects, all right, that seems reasonable. The body and the neck here. So let's, okay, and because this is imported, you'll see that we're not on our Dorian Storm figure. If we were, we would see all of his materials here, but we are actually editing the mandolin here. And how did we get back to object mode? There we go. So when we look at our materials here, we don't have any, and that's fine. We will just add some. Why not? No, I don't think we'll have shiny wood, but let's see. Oh, let's select at the top too, but we're gonna grab that manually here, so we can color that slightly differently, just to give it a little more interesting. What happens if we do this, and then, all right, so let's just do that right away. Click, 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 click. Now we're going to select linked, so that's selecting all of our keys. So let's add some material for our keys. I guess that's keys. Oh boy, sorry if I offend you stringed instrument players out there. I don't know what the right term is for these. But let's what is going on? What is going on with this? What is this? Some other part of the All right, well. Oh, okay. Here, we'll do this a little bit differently here. So what we can do is we can go into wireframe mode here. I just want to make sure I don't get the keys or any of that stuff, but well, that looks like it's white. Oh, there's actually a strings in here. That's insane. Oh, this is kind of gross. All right, let's see what that looks like. Well, I guess this worked out pretty well. It's weird working on a model that's not the actual figure. Yeah, I'm going to grab this too. And again, my apologies to musicians out there. I'm just going to call this the head. I don't think I want such a dramatic. Thank you. All right, I think that looks pretty good. You can actually kind of see the strings. All right, let's save that. I like that. So the question is, does anything need to be done with the wings? And I would contend no. I think we're going to fall back on the if it ain't broke, don't fix it axiom. And let's see how this looks once we get it in the system. All right, so we've saved it. And now we're going to export it to X3D. Now this is a little weird because we've got some extra stuff in here, but it should all export. But we certainly shall see once we get it into the system how it looks. All right. All right, here he is. Oh, about 19 meg, that seems about right. All right. So let's switch our capture. That's better. And let's upload this almost 20 megs. So this is a character. We will choose and we get our spinning cursor and we get the status message at the bottom. This will fade here in a moment and you'll have to rely on the spinning cursor, or you can watch the chosen file here. As long as the upload is in progress, the name will stay there. Once the upload is complete, this will clear out again. But you can still, if you wanted to read a message, you certainly could do that while this is happening. Of course, that clears your cursor, but that's fine. Okay. Nope. So, file was uploaded. Okay, good. So let's find that. And here it is. So let's open that in the Model Lab. And we know what's going to happen here. It's going to be Gurjindo. You can watch the progress meter up on top here as this loads. Again, your mileage will vary, but 20 megs is 20 megs. So it's going to take just a second. And as we've come to expect, he's monstrous. So let's do this. And of course, here we have him. Looks good except for the scale, so let's take care of that. And again, 28 millimeter goes to 0.035. Just tab, that'll set them all to the same, and then you can reset your viewpoint. And then here he is. Okay, so now you can see that we have hijinks with the base. So if we do the old front view, you can see, and I'm going to turn off the viewpoint, we'll deal with that in a second. But you can see his base is below the ground level, so we just pop this up. I believe it's 0. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to come up, I think it's like 0.08. And you can see at 9, you see light under the stage there, and then you want to just back it off 1. Now, let's get our viewpoint set up. Now this cone, I'm going to move it a little bit here first. This cone represents where the character is going to look in scene. So it's the idea here is to line his eyes up with the point of the cone. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get in front view, which is the way that the figure should be looking, and you can tell that's the way that the viewpoint is looking. So we're going to rotate the figure, turning on the rotation controls. And you just want to do this in the horizontal axis here, so be careful you don't grab the other ones. But you want to rotate this until basically he's looking right at you. Then we can move the viewpoint position a little bit up. Oh, and I've gone and done it. Okay, and then we'll look at it from the side. Okay, and you can see that we still need to go up to get about right with the eyes. Then we're going to come out a little bit. Then let's test it. That looks pretty good. This is what we should see. We're looking through the cone from the point out to the base of the cone, and that's why we're seeing this transparent blue circle. All right, so our figure is good to go. Now remember, at this point too, you can also do changes in color and all that kind of good stuff. And remember too, the lights are on really bright in here, and I'm going to turn this viewpoint off. So if you want to see your character in not quite so harsh a light, you can always turn it down a little bit. And this is something a little bit more reasonable for what your character is going to be, how the figure will look in scene, give or take other lighting effects, of course. But in the model lab, we like to have the lights turned up by default, because if you're in here looking at details or changing something, or you want to be precise, we want to make sure that light's not a factor in that. But if you do want to see, again, for some of the painting features, what your figure is going to look like in certain lighting conditions, we'll let you do that. So if we want to, just to review here, you can see that we have a list of elements of the figure, and these are the same. If this list looks familiar, this is the exact same list that we created in Blender. When we uploaded it, the system read that file and then read the settings for each one of these different aspects. So if we wanted to change, sorry about that. If we wanted to change his purple top knot here, we could, or the bun, we can take that and we can make that any color we want. Of course, it's hard to see because I have a very dark version of it, but so for any, and I'm just going to undo that. So for any element of the figure, you can change it right here in the keep. So again, just something as simple as a change of clothes, you can do all of that right here. So not a problem. You want to change different aspects of it. As Tabard here we have as a purple. You want to make that more that color for the evening or something like that. You can do that. You can change skin color. Again, everything you have identified here, you can you can change his coat. So it's a really quick and easy way to change your figures. What it's really going to be most useful for is changing the texture mapping for things like walls, um, so that when you're building your encounters, you can quickly and easily change the texture image and the colors of the various parts and pieces that you're using. Although it is kind of cool to repaint figures. And if you want to maintain the original one, that's fine. You just need to update a new copy with a different name, and then there'll be two different figures in the system. They'll start out life the same, and then you can just repaint the other one. You can do that as much as you want, to the extent of your disk allocation, which is high. So let's see if we can't get him into one of these scenes here. Sorry, we're doing some experimentation, so we're in a weird scene, but we're going to go into our cave. Oh, and we need to oh no, I don't have a character for Dorian. Let's see. I think we can manage. So, all right, well, I'm going to jump out of here real quick while we create this character. So I'm going to keep them in the main group or the main context here with the others. Sorry, I just want to... So we are going to create a new character. And I'm going to leave his 2D image blank for right now. What I will do is once we're in the um, here, well, I guess I'll just show you real quick what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to go through the whole process because it involves a little Photoshop and it's just kind of outside the scope of what we're doing right here. But if we open up Dorian again in the model lab, ooh, let me see, I'm not working with the very latest release here, but that's all right. Oh, yes, I am. So another thing that we've added recently is this is kind of a standard viewpoint for selecting an image, so or an item. So we're going to go just like that, and that kind of puts the figure in a standard position. I'm going to turn the viewpoint off. Maybe not. And then what I would normally do is get up in a good spot. Definitely dial the lights back. Sorry. Turn the walls, floor, and ceiling off. Then just do some very minor probably something like this, and then you can take an image of it, and then you can download that image and it just comes up like that. And, although you can't see it, basically you get this image, everything in black is transparent. And then I just have a template for creating a circular token from this that are used here in the site. But if you want to do that, just get a hold of me and we can set that up and maybe even look to automate that sort of thing. But that's what I'll do, and I'll do that off stream. But for now, let's go Dorian Storm. Class, he's a bard. I believe it's level 3. Again, this is really just a placeholder. This is let's see. And then the most important part is selecting the figure, as you might expect. We'll save that. All right, now we can open up our cave. And again, we've got several pretty big models, so the initial load will take a second, but once it's loaded up, that's not a factor anymore. Every time you change a different map or change to a different encounter, there will be a load time involved there. So what I like to do when I'm adding, again, characters, I like to switch to top-down view because the upper left-hand corner is the default location for newly added characters or figures. We will be looking to be able to pre-position so that when you add the figure, it shows up right where you want it as an option. But for right now, we are going to, let's see, here he is, add Dorian. You can see we get the progress meter here. And we have him right here. So let's bring him over. He can kind of hang out in the back here. So let's focus on him. Let's get him rotated. Let's see what that looks like. Looks pretty good. All right. There he is back there, singing up a storm. Very nice. Well, it started out with lonely old Imogen over there facing off against these two bad guys. So we've got quite a few new figures, all of them painted in Blender. And all ready for use in our nice scene here. Sweet. All right, so we are going to move on to our next figure, which I believe is the second to last, or the penultimate figure. We'll have to do Travis's new character once we get Ashley's cleric, or druid, I'm sorry, Fern Calloway. So I have acquired a figure for this in, excuse me, one more, in digital 3D model format, of course. And we are going to switch back our source here. Just bear with me. That's not what I wanted. That's better. Okay, Dorian, you are done. So again, I start a new Blender file from scratch, and I basically just delete everything that's there. We don't need any of this noise. And so next is importing the STL file. So from the file menu, we go import STL. Boom. And just like in the keep, these figures come into the software very big. Well, I'm not terribly sure about this figure, but this is what we got from Hero Forge, because we did not have the hooved type uh, lower body option at Eldritch Foundry. I presume they're working on it. But we did need that with this character, and so this is a Hero Forge character. And again, tried to honor as much as the figure builder allows us. The original art that was posted on Bell of Lost Souls. Um, but obviously we can't match everything exact. So we've got her staff and her weapon. We've got her horns. We've got her legs. Kind of a dress type thing. The sickle here is prominent in the original art. So we will again do what we can do here, and that's what we got. So the first thing again that we're going to do here is set a kind of base color. We need one thing, even though it looks like the model is coded in the color. This is just what the viewport is rendering. So we're going to create a new slot for the material, and we're going to create the material. This we always call base color, and we usually set it to a dark gray. We use shader nodes. That's what we need to what our technology exchange when we export to X3D will allow. It's a little more limiting, more basic colors, but it does allow us to do what we need to do. And so for this base color, I have a nice dark gray that our selection will stand off against. We don't want it shiny at all, and so this is what we get. Now, I'm going to start by just grabbing the base here. So whenever we open a new figure, we've got to change a couple of things or set a couple of things. You see, it looks like a net is selecting our figure, and we don't want that. Those are the points, all the intersections or vertices. We want the faces to be selected. And at this moment, we don't want them all to be selected. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a little try a different technique, because the first thing I like to do with Hero Forge figures is to isolate the stage, and that way I can turn it on and off in the display. Sometimes it gets in the way. So I think what I'm going to do with that is we're going to start with everything selected, and then we're going to go into wireframe mode, and I'm going to use the box selection. How do I deselect with the box, I wonder? Shift? That's pretty good. Okay, so let's go back into shaded, and we're going to have to clean this up a little bit down here, but that's no big deal. Or is this the way we want to do this? I think it's fine. Whoa, I didn't want to do that. Actually, I think this is more of a pain in the butt than the way we normally do it. Okay, so let's do this. Select a none. Let's try this technique. I just want to get as close in here to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go select more, 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 more. And we'll just follow this up and around. What happens now? Yeah. I don't know if I want that. Let's take a closer look. I think what I just want to do is this. Make sure I get all the very fine lines that could be down in here. These things can be very close together and then they don't always select. So we'll just, all right. So we'll just go around here and make sure we got, and I've noticed this with the Hero Forge figures too. They have sometimes this little bit of, I don't know, flash or splay or something that comes out of there, but it's no big deal. So let's assign in my stage colors. I just do black. I imagine at some point I'll start varying that up. All right. So let's save this. All right. Now what I want to do is select that. And now from the mesh menu, this is how we separate out different parts. Separate, separate the selection, boink. So now where there was just a fern up here, it says there's fern.001. That's the stage. And if we don't want to see it anymore, we can just do that. And now we have unfettered access to the bottom of the model. And that just makes things, life a little bit easier, that's all. Excuse me for one moment. My apologies. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, oh boy, let's see. Let's start with her face. And unfortunately, because we are dealing with a Hero Forge figure, we can't do our friend select linked because the entire mesh is linked. And so that really makes our job a little more difficult. So we're going to start with her. Let's see here. You know, I think what we're going to do, I guess we'll start with her face. We'll get this top part of her forehead first. come and get some of these corners here in a sec. All right, so we're going to just assign this right away. She seems to have a pretty fair skin tone. So let's start with that and we'll adjust as we go. Just taking a look at this. I don't know how this is going to look with her circlet or her headband here blending in with the skin. Well, let's start by just honoring the model, I guess. And we'll see how it looks. And then we'll adjust from there. Whoa. Again, this is leftmost button to do the selecting here that I'm doing. Centermost button or mouse wheel button will deselect. But as you've seen, and I talk about the time savings with the Eldritch Foundry models, you're seeing that in action here. But again, we didn't have much choice, so here we are. We'll get up close by those eyes. Okay, we're just following this line. And we're making pretty good progress here. I'm going to finish the top line here before I go down to the collar. Oh. Although, I guess if it's just going to make it that easy. And again, the level of detail to which you want to go on some of this stuff, completely up to you. On these, especially on these figures, I want to go a little bit more detail. And we're coming up the other side of the face here. And we've got another kind of weirdness here. But we'll, again, honor the model and adjust from there. So all right, we're going to go around the eyes last. I want to get the majority of it done here. Got a little overspray there, excuse me. And we're back. I think I'm just going to take the whole mouth. I think that just makes more sense here. Let's try this. Oh, that's hair back there. I think we can do that. I'm trying to select all of the mouth here without getting anything back where I shouldn't. I think all this is, I think that's color there. All right. So pretty sure I got all of that. The question is, what did I do back here? Alrighty. Let's finish up this back edge here. rest of this collar edge here. Alrighty, so let's get around the eyes now. Now the question is, I think it just makes more sense to select everything here. And then reselect the eye when we have to. Whoa. Alrighty, so let's assign that. And I think this needs to be a little redder. Ooh, I don't know, it's pretty close, I think. Ah, boy. Well, we'll have to play with that. But unfortunately for tonight, we have to call it a short stream, but I thank you for watching. We will continue on tomorrow's stream, our work on Fern here, and although we're making pretty good progress here, she is a Hero Forge figure, so it's going to take a little bit longer, probably 2 or 3 more streams after this, to get her completely painted. And then we will move on to the final character, which I believe is Travis's new character. But again, thanks for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And most of all, follow us on social media if you can. We're McCrae's Keep pretty much everywhere. And most active on Twitter. Again, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.